Also, I have been holding back on releasing a Khora video, because of the fact the Digital Extremes did announce a couple of changes for this new Warframe. It would be a waste to release an outdated video, which is why I decided to hold back until Digital Extremes release Khora's final form. I just hope that this is the final form of Khora, as I will be giving you the nitty-gritty details on this new Warframe. More specifically, I will try to show you all there is to know about this new Warframe, some builds that I find really amazing for her, and of course, my personal thoughts about this cat lady. So lend me a couple of minutes, as I show you everything there is to know about this cat lady, the new Warframe, Khora. First, let's dive into her abilities. Khora's first ability is called Whipclaw, and it's basically a whip which damage is split between slash, impact and puncture. This ability is affected by melee mods, and upon testing, it seems that damage, IPS, elemental, faction, critical, status, combo counter, and weapon augment mods does affect Whipclaw. However, it's not affected by class-specific mods like the Covert Lethality, or even those Acolyte mods like the Maiming Strike. Its damage scales further when you add a few power strength mods on Khora, while its range, or how far can Whipclaw hit, is affected by range mods. Now I did hear that this ability is affected by Riven mods, but upon a couple of tests, it seems that those hearsay are not true. I tested it on a couple of weapons, including my Legion with this Riven. I did not mod it with any other mod, just the Riven, but it seems that it's not affecting the target with any status at all. Now my experiments could be wrong, and I would like you to give your opinion about this on the comment box below, so we can finally answer the question whether or not Riven mods affects Whipclaw. Let's proceed to Khora's second ability. This basically is one of Khora's best CC ability in my opinion. It's called Ensnare, and what it does is bind a target, making it completely immovable. The metal that binds a target does propagate, and pulls all nearby enemies within a certain radius. Each subsequent enemy ensnared by the original target are disabled for 75% of total duration and inherits the propagation effect, causing their living metal to propagate once more to pull in and disable unaffected enemies around them. However, subsequent ensnared enemies cannot be affected by the same instance of ensnare again once freed, including the propagation effect from both the original and branched targets. Cast range, and as well as the spread radius, are affected by ability range mods, while the ensnared duration is affected by ability duration. This ability does synergy really well with Whipclaw, and as well as your pet cat, Vinari. Ensnared enemies receive 200% damage from Whipclaw and Vinari. Additionally, hitting ensnared enemies with Whipclaw refreshes the propagation effect, allowing affected enemies hit by the whip to pull in new targets. Okay. That's a mouthful, but I hope that you can keep up with what I'm saying. Now, let's proceed to her third ability, Vinari. This is Khora's pet cat and basically her best gimmick. In the past, this ability was duration based, but I'm glad that Digital Extremes decided to make it like a passive ability. You can command this kitty cat to either attack a target, protect you against an enemy, or replenish your lost health depending on how much power strength you mod Khora. The attack command does allow Vinari to deal slash damage to an enemy and has guaranteed status proc every time. While the protect posture will cause Vinari to defend Khora or herself from the nearest enemy and allowing her to use tail whip. During tail whip, Vinari spins in place to inflict knockdown on a single enemy, permanently disarming it to equip a melee weapon only when the target stands up. And lastly, her heal posture will imbue Vinari with a healing energy and allowing her to use Revitalize. When the current health of any ally player in the squad reaches below 90% of their maximum health, Vinari snarls and radiates a healing aura with a 10 meters radius. During Revitalize, Vinari instinctively seeks out and follows the player with the lowest amount of current health, granting the target and any nearby wounded allies 50 health regeneration per second while they remain in the aura. Health regeneration per second is affected by ability strength, and it benefits companions and Vinari herself. However, it requires an ally player's current health to be below the threshold to activate the aura. Now this is kind of weird, but it looks like the movement speed buff that Vinari gives is affected by efficiency mods. Same goes to Vinari's attack, which damage benefits also from efficiency. In fact, Frenzy damage bypasses the ability efficiency cap and benefits from a max rank fleeting expertise and streamline. I'm not really complaining about this one, but I'm kind of a ton on speed and damage increase being affected by power strength mod. It's not really a big issue anyway, so let's just proceed to her fourth and final ability. Her fourth ability is called Strangle Dome. When cast, Khora creates a dome, made from chains that capture, suspend, and damage enemies when they are caught by this ability. Enemies that were captured will not only be damaged by this ability, but will also receive 200% damage from weapons and abilities. In addition, captured enemies have a raised threat level, become susceptible to friendly fire, and taunt their former allies into attacking them. It also synergies well with Whipclaw, and inflicts 50% total damage against all other captured enemies in the same Strangle Dome. If at least one captured enemy is hit, Whipclaw's critical chance and status chance will apply to each captured enemy individually rather than uniformly. The damage of this ability is affected by power strength, while the radius and grab radius are affected by range mods. And lastly, you can have two Strangle Domes active at the same time, but you cannot cast it while in midair. Its initial form allows players to cast it while you are in midair, but it seems that it was removed during the most recent rework of Khora. Taking a closer look at her kit, and hearing all of that, we can safely say that Khora is more of a hybrid crowd control and debuffing Warframe. Her second and fourth ability makes her good in crowd control, while her first ability gives her second and fourth some extra damage. In addition, she also got some sustainability with her kitty cat. Question now is, how do we mod Khora? Now I don't have an endgame build for Khora yet. I need a couple of tests before I can release a good endgame build for this Warframe. For the meantime, I'm using this build, which has some balanced stats on it, and allows you to use all the 4 abilities of Khora. It's a fun build, and I'm using this for the sole purpose of testing out all of Khora's abilities in my solo endurance runs. By the way, you can replace the aura slot with something like corrosive projection if you have an extra forma. Rejuvenation is a good aura, but corrosive projection is better in my opinion overall, as it got lots of uses and armor reduction is a great asset in this game. After using Khora in a couple of missions, I can say that she is a good Warframe overall, but not that unique. I mean, why play Khora when there are a couple of Warframes that can do what she does, but a lot better? Khora's trying to be the swear damage CC combo, which is really hard to do since they're so intrinsically different, whereas someone like Nidus can do it really well since he's much more focused on damage. Khora is balanced more towards the CC half, which makes her damaging abilities seem a little out of place in her kit. Khora's kit lacks a focus, a point. She needs to have a clear-cut role to fill like every other frame in the game. Right now she's just floating somewhere in between, which makes her lacking as a whole, similar to old Oberon and Hydroid. Khora is a generalist in a game that rewards specialists. I don't hate this Warframe, but I don't love it either. That's what I feel about Khora. Her fashion frame is kind of cool, but she doesn't awe me in terms of her overall kit. She just feels weak for me right now. I don't know why, but maybe because I expected more. I expected that Khora will have that exalted whip. I expected that we can switch from impact, puncture, or slash damage. Overall, I expected her to be unique, but instead, all I got was something like a rushed Warframe. Things might change, and my perspective might also change when I use her a lot more, or find an awesome synergy for her in the future, but for now, my initial impression for this Warframe is just good, not great, not bad, just good. So that's it. I hope that you enjoy watching this video. Before I end this, I would just like to take this time to thank the most awesome community, the Grind team. Thank you to all those amazing people who joined our community, as without you, I could not have grown this channel. May you continue supporting my work, and as a promise, I will try to give you quality Warframe content always. Before you leave, please do me a favor and hit that like button, and if you want to join the notification squad, simply click that big red subscribe button below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.